One of the questions we get asked the very most is, do you have a therapist you can recommend for me? And while we wish that we knew of therapists in every single place, in every single part of the country, we don't. So what do we tell them instead, Mel?
We say check out BetterHelp because it's online, it's at a reasonable price, and you can be matched with a therapist within 24 hours. I've also used them and they have been great. And if you don't like your therapist, guess what? Click, click, and get a new one.
Absolutely. It's so hard when you have an in-person therapist, if you're not clicking with them, to cut them off and get a new one. So that's not an issue with BetterHelp. So we always tell people to try BetterHelp. And if you use our promo code, which is
trybetterhelp.com/WWDN,
you get 10% off your first month.
Go ahead and try it out. That's trybetterhelp.com/WWDN. And you know what? I'm a big fan of doing therapy where you don't have to wear pants, but nobody knows about it.
Are you wearing pants right now, Mel?
I'll see you later. Bye. That's trybetterhelp.com/WWDN.
This is fun, Mel, because this is not the normal way that we get podcast guests.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it. All I know is that you're sitting across from me looking like you have a look of glee on your face.
Me?
Yes, okay. Waiting for me to figure out how this guest came to be, and I have no clue.
Okay, why don't you tell us your name, first of all, guest, and then I'll say how you came to be.
Jessica, but you can call me Jess.
Hi, Jessica. We can call you Jess. So once upon a time, I was just on Threads, and somebody posted, I don't even remember what the prompt was, but it was like, tell us your most traumatizing story, but use millennial language or something like that. So I went full in on the dead husband and then cancer in millennial tone. And a lot of people enjoyed that and got some great feedback. And then this other person was like, same, me too. And so then I was like, but now I need your story. And so she told me the small version. And then I was like, but do you want to tell me the big version? And she was like, yes, I do. So
you met on Threads.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm not on Threads because every new social media thing makes me want to jump off a cliff or I start getting hives. So what is Threads? Is it like X?
Yeah.
But like better. It's like a secret society. We can't talk too much about it. So
man. The good thing about me is that usually, like, if I'm doing one thing, then I won't be doing the other thing. So I'll be really Threads heavy for a little while and then really Instagram heavy. So it's okay for me. Although I spend entirely too much time on my phone in general. So
okay, I'm on like none of the things right now. So
that's probably fine for you, Mel.
It's probably a good thing. Probably a good thing.
You guys can just tell me all the fun things. But look, now you've met a new friend. I guess I've met her through you now.
But what a fun way. Okay, Jess, we know nothing about you except for I know a little bit, but why don't you tell us where you're from, first of all?
Southeast Iowa. Small town, Southeast Iowa.
Nope. We never would have met any other way.
I might have.
Okay, Mel, maybe.
Yeah.
How? Why? Where?
I'm a touring musician, so I go all over.
Oh, fun. Oh my God.
Southeastern Iowa. What do you do for fun there?
I guess I have fun. I really like to rollerblade and go biking with my daughter.
Okay, come on. We're meant to be friends. I've been roller skating and skateboarding.
So I have a pair of quads and then I also have my rollerblades. There's not a lot of paved paths here. So like in Des Moines, you should take your blades or your quads because there's a trail north of Des Moines in Madrid that is completely paved, and there's like a little like bar area and just miles and miles and miles you just go. And then the High Trestle Bridge is really, really cool to like go by.
Cool. So for fun, you do fun things. I like this. Do you have a job right now?
I do. Yep. I'm a personal banker. I've been there for 10 years. And then I also have a little single mom side hustle doing airbrush tanning, mobile airbrush tanning.
Okay, what's a personal banker? Is there
like I open accounts, I deal with debit cards, I do the banking stuff.
Like regular people go to the bank and see you. And you're not like opening things for like corporations and stuff like that?
I mean, yeah, I could.
Okay.
but it's small town. We don't have a lot of corporations here. It's a lot of entrepreneurs. We have a really awesome, diverse town. So it is a lot of like sole proprietors and that kind of thing.
And then you'd be spray tanning
And then I'd be spray tanning.
all the locals.
Do you have like a bus?
Okay. So that's, I think, the goal if I really want to get into it. I love my full-time job and I have good insurance and all of that stuff. So, I kind of need that. But I actually have a tent. I just pop up my 7-foot by 4-foot tent in someone's garage or their living room or their bathroom, and I just spray them with my machine.
Do you ever just stop and think to yourself, this is so weird?
Yes. But no, because
No.
I did it when I lived in Des Moines forever. And then just recently, probably 6 months ago, decided I really wanted to do it again and spread sunshine and joy all over Southeast Iowa. So I just recently started getting busy and I really enjoy it. I really enjoy bringing joy to someone else. Like I swear to God, swear to Pete, if you have a tan, your entire aura changes. There's something about having a tan that just makes you confident and comfortable in your own skin.
It makes you a beach babe in Iowa.
Anita, can you tan? You have okay. Okay. I have a question for Jess. Do you know anything about us since you met on Threads?
Well, to be honest, I'm like chronically on Threads, so no.
I love this.
Love it.
But we're based in Utah, and then I used to live in New York.
Awesome. And you both have dead husbands.
Yeah. We grew up 7 houses away from each other, but we were never friends because we were 2 years apart in school.
I love that.
Our parents still live there in those houses, and they know each other.
Oh.
And then my husband died after a tonsillectomy, and I have 0 kids and 3 dogs. And Anita's husband died from a cardiac event. Is that the right wording?
Good job, Mel. That was good enough.
Mm-hmm. And she has 4 kids.
Oh my goodness.
So that's the sitch. And this is a podcast, if you didn't know. It is called Widow We Don't Now.
We don't know now.
Widow We Don't Know Now.
What do we don't now? What do we did? What do we don't?
Okay, there you go. Now that's all you got to know.
Okay, cool.
Okay, Jess, tell us about your person.
Oh, would that be Jesse? Okay, yes.
Wait, his name's Jesse? And you're Jess.
His name's Jesse.
You're Jessica, Jesse.
So funny you say that. When we first met, it was Jesse and Jessica, and I don't remember who. One of Jesse's best friends, one of the 2 of them, coined us J squared. So we were just J squared. Like even at our wedding, we had a big J squared above like the altar area.
How old are you?
I'm 39.
Great. I'm 44. How old are you? 46? Is it your birthday coming up?
Yeah, my birthday, by the time this episode comes out, I'll probably be 46.
Yeah. Okay. So we're kind of ish
that.
in the same. Wait, but can we go back to how you guys met with the Threads thing? I want to hear the lingo of the millennial terms.
You're going to have to find it because I'm pretty sure my response was like, heck yes. That's like, yes, same.
Okay, I found the thread. Are you ready?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, here's the prompt. It says, hit me with your most traumatic experience in the most nonchalant terms. If you're a millennial, make sure to add LOL or haha at the end. So this is what I wrote. Okay, so this one time I had to have surgery on a weird growth on my thyroid. Don't worry, they said it wasn't cancer. The surgery went super well. The next day, my husband went lap swimming because he missed his usual morning swim to be with me for my surgery the day before. And while he was swimming, he felt weird and died. Oops. And then a grimace face emoji. And then a week later, the surgeon called me and said, oh, hey, that thing we removed was actually cancer. LOL. Good times.
This makes so much sense.
Yeah. We'll read yours at the end after you've told us the.
Okay. What we bonded on though was, okay, so this one time, and it's like, it could be like yesterday or like 5 years ago. And it's like super freaking serious. Cause I do that too. I was like, oh my God, me too. Well, this one time.
Same.
So yeah. Okay.
Okay. So you met Jess and you're J squared.
Jesse.
I met Jesse and then we became J squared. Yes. Yep. You said, tell me about my person. So how we met, I was a cocktail waitress at a bar and I didn't love it, but I was trying to persevere. So I walk in and I go into the back and I come back out and I see his smile and I was going to somehow speak to him and make him mine. And things were going to happen. I can't tell you. It just happened the way that it did. I was doing my rounds and, hey, do you need any beer? Whatever. He took the towel out of my back pocket and whacked me with it. And I turned around, and any other guy, I would have been like, can you not? But I was like, hey, what you got? Anyway, so he said, what's your name? And I said, Jessica. And he said, and I said, what's yours? And he said, well, that depends. Do you have a boyfriend? And I said, I do not. And he said, my name's Jesse. It's nice to meet you. And then we exchanged numbers. I kind of figured he was that type of guy. I won't say gentleman, but I rolled with it. And then that Sunday he went to the hospital, and then I didn't believe him. And then he sent me a picture of his hospital room, and I was like, what the heck? And he didn't really say anything about it.
You exchanged phone numbers on a Saturday, and the next day he sent you a picture from a hospital room.
Correct.
Okay. And was that to get out of like going on a date or something you had planned?
He texted me the next day and he said, I feel like crap and I have you to blame, which was kind of cute because I was giving him beers all night. And I said something, I was talking to my best friend roommate, and yes, we were going to try to meet up the next night. And he's like, well, I'll be out of town for a couple weeks. I'm like, okay, well, when are you going to be back? What are you doing? And he's like, well, I'm in the hospital. And then, so yes, he was proving to me that he was in the hospital, because that's ultimate, like, you know, before everyone got ghosted, it was like, I can't, I'm busy. I'm like dead. Or, you know, I'm in the hospital.
Or catfished. Like, oh,
or
we can't
catfished,
meet.
yes.
I'm getting a kidney transplant.
Yes. So yes, he proved to me that he was absolutely in the hospital. Did I ask why? No. Should I have? Probably. It was the week of Thanksgiving. And so I had that Friday off. So I took off on Wednesday. And our first date, you know, I say it out loud now, and I'm like, my 21-year-old self was just psychotic. But I took off. I drove. It was in Iowa City at the University of Iowa Hospitals. I went from Des Moines to Iowa City. I walked down the hall to his room, and we stayed up all night playing Don't Break the Ice and Uno, and got to know each other. I didn't sleep a wink. People were coming in with treatments. People were coming in asking questions, bowel movements, all the things. And I never once was like, I wonder why he's here. I just loved him. I loved his face. I just loved looking at his face, and I just didn't care. I just didn't care.
Don't Break the Ice is like the weirdest game that's what you were playing. There's too much setup time for me, to be honest.
I think we ran to Walmart. He was inpatient, outpatient, so he could leave.
What?
Should we talk about why he was in the hospital?
Did you ever ask?
I feel like we need to find when you found out.
Yes. Oh, okay. So when I found out, okay, let's do that. Okay. So I have the time of my life. I go back to Fairfield at 6:00 in the morning. Well, Southeast Iowa at 6:00 in the morning. My mom's like, WTF. I'm like, don't worry about it. Jesse and I talked throughout the next 2 weeks. I went back to work on that next Monday. Okay. I worked at a medical bill review place. There was a nurse on staff, and I went in and I'm like, okay, I had this, I guess, date, met this guy, and he was taking breathing treatments, and they were asking about bowel movements, and like, this is what the situation was. He had took a lot of pills and he was doing breathing treatments. What would it be? And he deadpan looks at me and he goes, well, it sounds like a serious case of pneumonia, or he has cystic fibrosis. Okay, I don't know what that is. So hopefully it's the pneumonia, because I literally went back to my desk. I Googled cystic fibrosis, and everything in me just went, oh my God, this man has to deal with this genetic lung disease. And I read through it. I had tears in my eyes. I read life expectancy. I read way too much than I should have. And I have goosebumps. I literally decided in that moment that this man was worth every heartache that I could have ever been through, because there was a spark. If you ever met him, I'm pretty sure 95% of people that met him could say there was a spark in his eye that just caught you. It just got you. So I just decided I was going to love the dude. And if he wanted to love me back, great. If not, dang it, I'm going to be devastated.
Okay, Jess, here's a prompt. Tell me how you knew that Jesse had cystic fibrosis in millennial speak.
So we had fun one night, and then I had some questions and he came back and said he was sterile.
You had fun, quotation marks,
Yes.
and you were worried about certain
Yes.
eventualities in quotation marks, like AKA being pregnant. Do you know one thing that I did not expect to be doing in my life? And I have a feeling that many of our listeners also didn't expect to be doing
Doing your taxes alone?
that too. Good guess, but no, something else.
All right, what is it?
Designing a headstone, having to choose a headstone for your dead partner. Like, what are we doing? If you guys have listened to the podcast for a while, you know that it took me like 5 years to get Jason a headstone. And it was not that great of an experience for me until I started working with Drew Bott from Bott Monument. Drew comes from a long line of headstone makers, but he's different than the rest of his family because the rest of his family is fairly traditional and does the headstones, just like they're supposed to. But Drew creates works of art that are truly unique.
Hasn't he won headstone awards?
Like, who knew that was even a thing? But yeah, he's won all these awards for headstone design.
Well, I have been on this journey with you, Anita, and I know how hard it's been for you to find a headstone. And so when you met Drew and designed it and I saw it, I couldn't imagine anything more perfect. It was amazing.
Yeah, I worked with Drew for over a year. He was so patient. And a lot of the things that I didn't love about the process from other places I visited, no pressure, no rush. The other places always made me feel like I needed to do it as quick as possible. It felt like a sales pitch. Hated that. No quotas, and everything from everywhere else I went was so generic. For some people, they are good at designing things and have an eye for putting stuff together so it looks great, but I don't have that ability. So Drew took all of that and gave me so many options. I told him no so many times, but he was super patient. And he was able to design something that I guarantee does not exist anywhere else. And the cool thing is, if you're thinking to yourself, well, great, but I don't live by you, Drew travels all over the country installing really unique and cool headstones.
Didn't he take a lot of time also to learn about Jason and the things that he liked?
Yeah, like he did an interview with me. We talked about a lot of things, so he kind of knew Jason a little bit, which was really comforting and nice also. So if you find yourself trying to buy a headstone, which again, what? And you're dissatisfied with the options, you can check out Drew and work with him. Go to bottmonument.com. Now, don't get tricked because, like I said, he comes from a long line of monument makers. So make sure it's Bott Monument, BOTT monument.com, and just send him an inquiry and you can start the process and see what you come up with.
That's BOTT monument.com.
Yes. And then he said, "Hey, I'm sterile. And do you see my fingernails? They're clubbed. And here's why."
Okay.
He fessed up.
We decided that we were going to date. He had a really hard time with it. I mean, I don't think I was forceful. I don't think I was like, "Hey, by the way, I love you. And it's okay if you don't yet, but I'm pretty sure you're going to love me too." I like to think I treaded lightly, but we had a lot of fun. We had friends that were in bands. We went all over Des Moines, downtown, and watched them almost every single night. We always went out. We had such a good group of friends. And we did that for like 2 years. He was really, really, really scared that he was going to lose or leave me. And so he was very apprehensive about getting serious. And I just kept telling him, like, I don't care. Like, I just want to love you. And I just want to have a life together as long as we can. And yeah, it's going to suck someday, but I don't know, with advancements in treatment and blah, blah, blah. So he used to go into the hospital for what he called tune-ups. It was like a checkup. So for 2 weeks, he'd get pumped with antibiotics and he'd have breathing treatments and everything to kind of clear out the crud in his lungs and his bronchial tubes. It eventually got to a point where he needed a double lung transplant. He was put on the list and we actually broke up for like 6 months because he was just really struggling with what his life looked like. So we kind of split ways for like 6 months and then he got put on the transplant list. And I'm pretty sure He texted me and told me he got put on the transplant list. And I'm like, okay, let's go have a Captain and Coke, because that's what you do when you get put on a transplant list. Thank God he didn't get called that night. But yeah, we celebrated, and then it was kind of like a new little glimmer of hope. Okay, so you're going to get a transplant, and then we're going to get married, and then we're going to live the rest of our lives. It was what I think he needed in order to continue on with our relationship. Our lives fell into each other after that. We moved back in with each other. He had his transplant. That was a wild ride.
The whole idea of a lung transplant to fix cystic fibrosis is so crazy to me because it's just like you just swap out the part and it's like it just seems like it would exist elsewhere in your body, but no, you just have to get some new lungs.
Yes, but when you get new lungs, you're essentially starting the clock over. So those new lungs are going to create mucus as well. And so and quite honestly, I have not done as much research as I used to, and I don't know a lot about all of the advancements, but it's insane to think about if it would have happened 5 years later, the amount of more time we would have with him just because of the advancements.
That makes more sense.
The life expectancy is way into the 50s now, and he was given 8 or 18. I think he was 2 when they found out, a year and a half. His mom had an intuition, and they got tested, and he tested for CF. Yeah.
Okay, so he got his new lungs.
He got his new lungs. That was a wild ride. He was textbook surgery. He was in the hospital for 6 days. His dad took some time off of work, and essentially all of like the post-op stuff is like, obviously the first 48 hours is like crucial. But then there's testing they have to do every day, and, breathing on your own. And from the outside looking in, it's an unbelievable experience. But then watching someone who has so much drive for life and can see like the beauty in the crappiest of times was really, really cool. All of my strength, I will say, forever and ever and ever, all of the strength that I muster up in any crappy time in my life is all because I watched him go through that, and he gave me all of the strength. Like I just pull from watching him fight and fight and fight, and I'm good.
After he gets his lung transplant, did you guys get married? And did you think you had like a new lease on life?
Sure. So he got his lung transplant on November 30th, and then he proposed that next July under the fireworks. I had all of his friends there, and it was amazing and beautiful. And I was so surprised. He was so nervous. We got engaged, and we took 2 years to plan it because we had been together for 4 years at that point anyway. So we enjoyed planning our wedding. He chose the colors. He was very much involved. We did a taco bar for our food.
Also, that sounds like Scott. Like Scott was the one who did the colors for Mel.
Really?
Oh yeah. I have no skills with that. Yeah.
Oh, see, we were both creative in different ways. He was an amazing artist, very amazing musician. Okay, so Mel, you're the musician. So I would have voicemails while he was in the hospital. Obviously, I worked full time. He was on disability, so I was the breadwinner. And then on the weekends, I would go visit him, stay the night in the hospital, and then drive home the next day. But he would leave me voicemails. So music therapy is a huge thing in the hospital. He would like order up keyboard and the guitar, and he'd be playing, and some of the guests would, love hearing it, or some of the other patients would love hearing it. There was one time where he learned the beginning chords of Journey on the keyboard, and I have voicemails, and I lost them as a whole nother story, but I had voicemails of him going, babe, check this out. Dun, 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 dun. And then he would screw up and he'd go, dang it. Okay, I'm going to call back. Don't answer. I want to make it good. So it just, he was great.
Was he playing Don't Stop Believin'?
Yeah.
It's like the number one most popular karaoke song request.
I bet Mel could play it for you right now.
Or it was at some point. I can play it. I hope I never play it again. I'm tired of playing it. That's awesome.
Yes. Yep. So we got married. That day was amazing. Actually, let's back up. So we got engaged. We're planning our wedding. He gets into some trouble with the law. Well, I guess just drinking and driving, it's
crime.
Yeah, it happened. This is a great story. Okay. So I climb the Fight for Air climb with the American Lung Association every year. and it's always in Des Moines, and it's like a stupid amount of flights of stairs. I've done it on a hangover. I've done it while I've trained. I've done it in no training whatsoever. I actually missed this last year, which is a whole nother story. But it was like 2014, no, 2012. It was in 2013. He decided that he was going to go out the night before the climb. And I got a call from the county jail that he wasn't coming home that night because he was in trouble for getting pulled over. And so I was very upset and mad at him for doing the climb the next day in his, honor. And then he's in jail. Anyway, because of that, we planned a Mexico honeymoon. So he screwed that up because he couldn't leave the country. I took us to Chicago to see the Backstreet Boys for our honeymoon because we don't do that. We did our honeymoon in Chicago, and then actually around the same time he was starting to have rejection. We didn't really know what it looked like at that time. So we got married in June of 2014. And about January of that year, things he was having trouble breathing, and he was getting treatments, and we were trying to figure out what was going on. Prolonged it. The Thursday before our wedding day, he came back, and he didn't really tell me what happened in the meeting because he didn't want to ruin the whole wedding weekend. But he was told that he was experiencing rejection, and he most likely would have to go back on the transplant list and have a second double lung transplant. That oven in itself is very rare. It's getting more common, but it's rare. And so he didn't tell me that. And I look back and I'm just really thankful for that because he was protecting me and making sure that that weekend was amazing. But our wedding night, he did struggle to breathe. And I think that was, I don't want to say the beginning of the end, but that's where it kind of really took a turn, like, oh crap, okay, we had just like the highlight of both of our lives. And now we have to go back to reality and figure out like what exactly our life looks like after this. So he had rejection. We looked at going to another university. We decided that the University of Iowa was the best place to be. It was that Christmas, the day after Christmas, his dad was yelling at me from downstairs, upstairs, that Jesse couldn't breathe. I walked downstairs and I saw him staring at himself in the mirror. And we always had this thing, can you get out of it? Like, are you going to be able to catch your breath? I always said, can you get out of it? And he would nod his head yes. And that was like, give me some time. He looked at me and went like this. And I just went into protection mode. We ended up in the hospital. We were there for 21 days in and out of ICU. His CO2 level was high. He wasn't able to ward it off. And he ended up not waking up. It's really weird when all of your life, like you have your parents to like be an advocate for you. And then when you're married, you have to make the calls yourself. And I remember the doctor, Klesny Tate, coming up to me and putting her hands on my knees and going, Jessica, this isn't good. And I need you to understand that this is not good. And I just stared at her because I'm like, okay, you need to focus. She basically said, he's young, but it's going to be a miracle if he makes it. That was about halfway through the 21 days. But then, yes, the lady looked at me, and after we decided we were going to take him off, and I say we because his parents and I were very close, his friends and I, his sisters, we decided that it was time. We took him off, and the nurse or the palliative care lady looked at me and she said, Jessica, he's taking his last breaths now. And I just remember his dad next to me and Jesse on my right. And I just leaned in and I said, I love you. It's okay to go. And I'm so proud of you. And he was gone.
How old was he?
33. Well, actually, his body did this weird thing where his eyes opened and everyone went, and then the lady went, oh, everything's okay. That's just involuntary. And we're like, okay. And then it was done. It was like traumatic.
Yeah.
But then I had, so his family and I are still to this day very close, and always was a part of their family, still am. So I did a 180 to hug his dad, and then I found my mom and my little brother in the corner bawling in a huddle. And so I went in there and I sat in between them, and we just sat there like, what the heck just happened? Because they very much loved my husband too. I mean, probably even more than me. Yes, very traumatic experience.
It's funny because a lot of times people are like, oh, it's so peaceful. And you're like, no, actually,
No.
it's not. It's not fun.
All in all, everybody that ever touched his soul, everybody from everywhere, all of the places in the hospital stopped up that day, asked for permission, but there were people in and out saying goodbye to him because he touched so many people in his lifetime. And going to a hospital for 2 weeks of treatment for like a long time, you get to be,
Okay. So you'd been married for like what?
7 months.
Yeah. There you go, Mel.
Ah,
She's like you again. Mel, you guys were only married for a year and a half?
almost 2 years. If he had not died when he did, we would have hit our second
Yeah.
anniversary.
Okay. Yeah.
Which
So
is dumb.
right before he went into the hospital, we moved all of our things in a 10 by 10 storage unit because we had every intention of, um, coming back from it. And then he'd have new lungs and we would just get on with our lives. So after he died, I had to like go through our belongings. And it's not like it was a house where you can just kind of pick through it. I had to like eventually get rid of it because I'm paying for a storage unit. So yeah, I had to go in there and I mean, everything. There were still gifts from our wedding that we hadn't opened yet.
You had a waffle maker that you didn't even get to use.
Did you pay for some funeral things with your wedding gift cards? Because I did.
We were very fortunate enough to have a lot of help. There was 2 different fundraisers that were done. One of them with all of Jesse's artwork. We auctioned off a bunch of his artwork. So I was very, very fortunate enough to not only be able to, his parents were very lovely too and helped me pay for it. Because, we were young and what do? He couldn't have life insurance. And then I also had a little bit of a fund to get back on my feet because I needed furniture and a bed and all of the things. So
What year was this? How long ago has it been?
January 21st of 2015. So
January's the worst. I swear it. It's been 11 years.
yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, as we know, Jess, once your husband dies, you are immune from all other bad things happening in your life. Correct?
No.
Tell us more.
I moved back to Des Moines, tried to get my life back together. My best friend moved back from Nashville. She was my roommate. Everything was great. I had a phone call on a Wednesday evening that my little brother's plane didn't make it to Anchorage when it was supposed to make it, like a single engine. I called my mom and my mom said, you need to come home. So I did. And then long story short, he died in a plane crash.
Come on.
And my little brother is my best friend. He was there like when Jesse was taken off of life support, when he flew in the night before and he walked in the room with me arm in arm. I mean, my little brother is like we were 5 years apart, but we were twins. I mean, twin flames. We were 2 peas in a pod. Yeah. So then he died. And then I was like, you were there for me when Jesse died. And now I don't have anyone and I need someone. So thankfully, 10 days after that, I found out I was pregnant with my daughter.
What?
Okay.
So that person wasn't sterile, obviously.
No. And then
Okay.
we go up to Alaska. We have his celebration of life, his services, whatever. I get back and I have my first ultrasound and my due date. Are you ready for this?
No.
Jesse's birthday.
Okay.
Oh.
No, I'm not even kidding you. I can't even make that up. There was a sense of relief. There was a sense of like disbelief. And, obviously it takes 2 to tango, but like he had to have something to do with it. He put us together and it happened the way that it did. And so, yes, my daughter is the light of my world and my parents' world. She came at a very dark time in my family. So I have my husband die and I have my best friend / little brother die. And then I have a daughter and I'm like, you know what? If there is a higher power, he can't hate me because nothing can happen to Piper. Basically, like she slept with a blanket. I gave her, I'm sure, bacteria filled like breast milk in a bottle that was out all night. I was like, dude, you know what? If something's gonna happen to her, then he really freaking hates me, and life is just gonna be what it is. And look at us now.
Can we ask after the Piper's dad? Is he in the picture? Was
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
Oh, okay.
He sure is. So I actually knew him from high school. He was kind of like my high school love. We rekindled, we reconnected.
Okay.
It was kind of a rough time for him. It was a very rough time for me. Were we meant to be? No. Did I cling on to him like cat claws? Like, it was my next victim. Like I don't have anyone. I need to there's a lot of therapy in that time frame of my life too. And then I just focused on Piper and I bought a house, and it's been 5 years in our house now, and we just love life. We are very fortunate. She talks a lot about Uncle Kyle. She talks a lot about Jesse. She's definitely well aware of death and what happens, and she's the coolest kid I've ever met. I mean, she's my daughter, so.
I hope she has the best spray tan.
Oh my gosh.
Anybody.
She loves getting spray tans. She thinks it's the coolest thing ever. And she likes wearing her swimsuit so she has lines.
Mhm.
Hey guys, just checking in and want to say if you are enjoying this podcast,
And you want to see it keep going, maybe it's helped you through your widowhood journey and you think that it might help others on their widowhood journey, you can support that cause by joining our Patreon.
some of the things that you get as a Patreon beneficiary are ad-free episodes, so you don't have to hear ads like this.
You also get exclusive content, and at a certain level, you might also get an exclusive t-shirt you can only get that place.
That is true. It's pretty cool. There are 4 different tiers available, so check it out. It's patreon.com/WWDN.
And as an extra bonus, very often you get your names read by one of my kids, and they will do a terrible job with the pronunciation. And that's like a bonus, I think.
I think it's kind of the best. I would much rather hear somebody butcher my name than say it correctly.
A child butcher it than an adult do it correctly. Yep. So go to patreon.com/WWDN to keep our podcast going and support the widowed cause.
Yes! Thanks, guys! Back to our regularly scheduled program.
I feel like that's when I was younger, talk about millennial coded. Although this is a little bit older than that. Do you remember how people would put the stickers on
Oh, yeah.
their tummies before they would actually go to the tanning booth though?
Oh,
My
yeah.
gosh. That was what the cool kids did.
But
didn't
I
ever
worked
do
at
that.
a tanning salon, and I have like people of all ages come in and grab the Playboy sticker and
Yes.
little lips and put them on their bum. And I'm talking like elderly. Oh, which sticker do you want? The Playboy one. Okay. No
Okay.
judgment.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
what all the high school girls did too. And I
Yeah.
was like, do they know what Playboy is? Because that's so weird. They did.
No.
They absolutely did. Little naive Anita.
It's a cute logo.
Oh,
It's
it is.
iconic.
It's cute.
People
Yeah.
just didn't know. Or maybe they did. Whatever.
No, these girls did for sure. No.
Can you talk to us a little bit more about the times when you were really needing a lot of therapy? Because that's a whole lot of stuff. Like boom, boom, boom. Universe is
Yes.
crashing down. And the lovely gift of Piper was a thing.
Yes.
But also doesn't erase all of the dumb stuff that was super hard. So how was that being a new mom with not the father? Wait,
no,
where
yeah,
Jesse
no.
wasn't the father, you're grieving.
Yep.
Go for it.
So when Jesse died, I really struggled because I felt like I should be okay with it because I knew it was going to happen. It was a very, very hard struggle with me because I felt so relieved that I didn't have the caretaker role anymore. But then I didn't have a purpose on my own. I lost who I was. I was drinking a bottle of wine and I followed it by pre-workout, and I worked out at 10 o'clock at night, woke up in the morning, worked my full-time job, my part-time job, and did the same damn thing every single night. I bet for 4 months, 5 times a week, I was just killing myself with everything, trying to numb it. Made some stupid decisions. So then Kyle, after he passed away, I went to therapy. My best friend, my roommate, took me under her wing and understood that obviously I was struggling. And she found a therapist for me, and I went and spoke with her. And that's the one that actually diagnosed me with ADHD. She's like, have you ever? I'm like, yes, I have. Anyway, so I met with her, and she helped me figure out how to work through some of the grief and what I was afraid of and the things that really bothered me. After Kyle and I had pipes, I had postpartum really, really bad. Like there were days when I just wanted to take her and just drop her on the hardwood floor and just pretend that it didn't happen. And I loved her so much. I mean, if anyone that meets me would know that she is the center of my entire world. But I'm very careful about making sure she doesn't have that weight on her shoulders. Like she brought my family out of a very, very dark time. She'll never know the weight of our pain and how much joy she brought us. She just knows that she's a joy in general. I still struggle. There are still days when you lose your husband, that grief and that pain is so much different than when you lose like your little brother. That Jesse's loss for me was almost inevitable at some point. We had discussed it. We had to go through all of what was he going to wear in his casket, and you have to make sure you go through all of that when you have a transplant. But then when Kyle died and it was out of nowhere and I didn't expect it, that grief wave was so much different to process through. And I still struggle. There's still days when I can't swing my feet over the side of the bed and get up. I find myself in tears. There's a song, there's, heads up pennies are a really big thing for me and Jesse. And yeah, there's still days I struggle mentally, very much so. And it's been 8 years and 9 and 11 years. And there's still very much days that will knock me off my feet.
Yeah. That's a lot for your brain to even begin to process. It's so much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When did you start being able to be a functional person-ish in the world, or were you really high functional this whole time, even though it was so
I was coasting. That's what I like to say. I coasted for, I'll say months, but more so years. I coasted, and I'm sure people could tell I was struggling. I used alcohol a lot, and I love me a good margarita. I think it was probably a couple years before it crashed down on me. Actually, when I realized I had an underactive thyroid, my supervisor at the time, who was a really good friend of mine, was like, "You're not okay. Like we need to figure this out." I was just dead to the world. My TH level, whatever level was T3, was like so high that it was ridiculous. So then I had to start, getting medicated and figuring my life out. It was probably a couple years.
And then your brother died. I feel like you probably were just kind of reaching the point where you're like, okay, like we're going to be okay. And then boom.
I went into the doctor on a Monday because my mom was like, you need to get some anxiety meds. And I'm like, okay, fine. So I went in, I was like, hey, we're going to be flying over the lake that my little brother's plane went in. And it's probably going to bring me great anxiety. Is there any way you can give me some meds? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. Like he didn't even ask. He was probably like, I don't want to know. So sure. And then I took a pregnancy test, like, I don't know, the next day. And so I couldn't take anxiety meds. So here I am in a taxi cab going over the beautiful lake that Kyle's plane went in. And we're just kind of it was a very beautiful circle around, the pilot knew Kyle, and he did this little, like, this is where they were presumed to go in, and did this little fly around, and I had to do it all unmedicated, and it sucked.
Yeah.
But I'm still medicated now, so we're good.
Aren't we all? Aren't we all? Okay, Mel, are you ready for me to read her response?
Okay, so now that we have the good bullet points of what your story is about, now explain it in a millennial language.
So this one time, that's required, with a little emoji. I met him November 2008. He went to the hospital for 2 weeks, had our first date there, didn't ask questions on why he was there. I was young and dumb and naive, found out he had cystic fibrosis, said, quack it, he's cute, I'll love him hard. He got put on a double lung transplant list 2010, got his transplant in November, and proposed under the fireworks 4th of July. Married 2 years later, 2014, he died from rejection. Hell of a ride.
Yeah.
LOL.
LOL.
It's like you can get all of that trauma in just as facts in 30 seconds. It's like an elevator pitch. It's pretty impressive.
And then I remember though, like after all of that, you have people in your circle and you have people that follow the stories and all of that. But then when Kyle died, everyone was like, "Oh my god, she's not going to be okay. She is not going to survive this." Like I had this unspoken, like, I don't know if I've ever even like properly articulated how much love I felt from just people reaching out, people's posts on Facebook, and just knowing like, oh my gosh, she just lost her husband and now her little brother, who is her best friend. And everyone knew that we were best friends. This collective like bubble of protection I felt. And then you just hear, oh, I don't know how you do it. Oh, you're so strong. I would, if that ever happened to me, I'm like, well, you don't have another choice. You don't have another choice. What are you going to do? Succumb to it? No. Life is worth living. You have to find the joy. You have to keep going. And, sometimes it's harder for some people than others, but I'm glad I chose that route. I'm glad I can look at it and be thankful for the memories. Wouldn't take a single day back of any of it. And it's my story,
It's a pretty crazy story.
It is.
So thank you for sharing with us. And thanks for, commenting on a thread that I also commented on so we can be friends.
I know. I think it's so fun. And I think the universe works in ways like that because, you got to be a little unhinged. You got to be a little, you just have to in order to find the joy in everything.
You know what the millennials would say, YOLO. Actually, would they? Is that millennial or is that a little bit after?
I'm like in between.
Yeah.
I'm on the cusp because I'm a Y2K graduate.
I had the clueless phone that said, as if, whatever. I'm outie.
I'm outie.
Yeah. Loser, double loser.
That's so much. Okay, Jessie.
Yes.
Jess.
No.
Jess!
Ah! Okay, Jess. We have an important question that we need to finish up with.
So important.
Question is, do you like cheese? Number one. Do you eat cheese? And if so, what is your favorite cheese?
So for lunch today, I had smoked Gouda, and I love cheese so much.
You are from Iowa.
That's Wisconsin.
I don't know. Isn't like the Midwest just cheese filled?
I don't know. I'm cheese filled. One of the questions though that I love to ask, like if I'm meeting someone or like, if I'm dating someone or whatever, is on your walking taco. Do you guys know what walking tacos are?
Yeah, like in a Frito bag?
Doritos.
Doritos?
I was just in Missouri and they have walking tacos in the gas station. Anita, you need to visit.
I love this idea. But they do it with Doritos, nacho cheese or Cool Ranch.
Well, cool. Okay, so hold on. So it's nacho cheese. But my question always is nacho cheese or shredded cheese. And I can't do nacho cheese because I don't like my food to be wet. I like melted sprinkled cheese is what we call it. But no, my favorite cheese in all of land, and I'm going to screw it up, is it 1,000-day-old Gouda?
Whoa. I don't know this.
My best friend, her dad, who has since passed years ago, I just always remember that was his favorite cheese. And it's like the kind that almost crumbles and then melts in your mouth.
It's like very
Write
dry.
it down. 1,000-day-old Gouda.
It is thus written. We have a list.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite, hands down.
Okay. I will say for the record, I love a nacho from the gas station on special occasions.
Same.
So
okay. Yeah. Now if I'm at
So it's like good for the first top chips.
So no. You got to dip in you don't make them all soggy. You dip the chip in the chip. You don't make them. Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
I'm
effort.
torn on that. I will have to try the walking taco.
So you could even you can eat it out of the bag. That's what people do. They cut they turn it on its side, cut it. Well, the big bag maybe if you're feeling good.
Family
but
size.
then everything, cheese, meat, whatever. But then you can also just make a taco salad. That's what I grew up on. So you just crunch it up and put it in a bowl and with lettuce and all of
I
that.
know.
So
It's delicious. It's delicious. Okay, I know what we're having for dinner tonight now.
love
So
it.
we're good to go. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope our
Thank
listeners
you.
have enjoyed getting to know Jess a little bit and hearing her story. If you'd like to keep the podcast going, will you check out our Patreon? It's patreon.com/WWDN.
If you'd like to buy us tacos or provide ways for Anita to try walking tacos, go to buymeacoffee.com/widow we do now.
We always love a nice rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And until we get to talk to you again, I'm Anita.
I'm Mel.
I'm Jess.
We are just two young widows and one widow who asked surprisingly few questions in the beginning of her relationship. And we're all just trying to figure out, widow,
We
do.
now.
Mel, can you please tell me how you feel about therapy?
I am so grateful for therapy. I do therapy every single week.
Do you think it's a great tool in the widow's toolbox?
I sure do. I think it's a great tool in anybody's toolbox. And I am so glad that I have stuck with it because as time goes on, there are more things that I am able to learn about myself. That goes for anything from healing from the death of my husband to childhood things to trying to get outside and be social or trying to address my own certain personality. So yeah, it's really been helpful for me.
We have so many people in the Widow Wives Club who have started using BetterHelp and have amazing reviews. It takes away so many of the barriers to getting great therapy.
I know one of the things that's hard for people, and we get this question a lot, it's I need a therapist that does XYZ. Who is a therapist that is going to be widow friendly? And I know that is so hard to find. When I did therapy that was not on this online platform, it was hard. And it's kind of trial and error, kind of like a new medication, honestly, like a new antidepressant. And the way that BetterHelp is set up is it's easy to find somebody that has your specific needs as part of their expertise. And you know what? If you get into a couple sessions with that person and it's not a good fit, it's so easy to change. You can ask some of our friends in the Widow Wives Club. They've changed therapists and gotten one that has been a better fit for them. Well, a lot of them are lucky with who they get first time. I am so grateful for mine. I love her so much, and it's literally changed my life for the better.
This is amazing. So if you guys are wanting to add therapy to your toolbox or need a change in who you're seeing right now, consider checking out BetterHelp. They're one of our sponsors. If you go to trybetterhelp.com/WWDN,
you get 10% off your first month of therapy if you sign up with BetterHelp. And let me tell you, the day that I was in the hospital with my dad when he was dying, I was able to instant message with my therapist, and she checked on me all throughout the week. And I was not available for video sessions for a lot of those times because there were things we were dealing with, like mortuary stuff, and I was still able to be in contact with her. So they're very, very responsive, caring. It's such a great platform, and I recommend it to anybody who is looking for therapy.
Once again, it's trybetterhelp.com/WWDN.
And that's for 10% off your first month of online therapy.
You don't even have to wear pants, Mel.
I know this.
First-hand experience.
You can even wear a onesie.
Or a twosie.
Ooh, scary. All right, bye.